Yo, that's heavy. What's going on, guys? It's me, bupssaggu, and this is Music in Quarantine, week 4. Before we get into the video, I want to say thank you to everyone that showed a lot of love and support for the new release Sharab and Al-Rajia. This week I've got something very special for you guys. The sun is out, so I thought it's fitting to make a tropical reggaeton mashup. I get a lot of people DMing me, asking me how I construct a mashup, how do I get everything in key, arrange it, filter out frequencies. Let's get straight into the video. My starting point is selecting the one track, which is going to be the foundation of this remix. And one of the Punjabi tunes at the moment that's doing it for me is Ghore by Baani Sandhu, and it goes a little something like this. The first thing I did is increase the speed from 88 BPM to 95, which is going to be the tempo of our mashup. I use the channel EQ to filter out the low end and part of the top end, and it sounds something like this. Now, time to make the music. The most crucial thing for me in any remix before beginning is to determine the correct key and chord progression of the track. This track is in an F sharp minor. One of my favorite plugins at the moment is Chromophone. I selected the Fairmount Marimba, and the chords I played sound something like this. Firstly, you select it all, quantize it, and then go to MIDI transform and make sure the lengths of our notes are equal. Humanize, but it's still not natural for me. So what I do, I go to region, quantize this to a 1/16 note, and then I flam it. How summery does that sound? The next thing I added was a mallet. Right, so we select all, we quantize. Again, we're going to go into MIDI transform and humanize it. Along with our malimba, it sounds something like this. So underneath that, I added some pads. I copied over the chords. So I used a big sleepy preset in Serum, twisted a few knobs, and it sounds something like this. Listening to that, you feel like you need to be on the beach. Underneath that, I'd added an analog bass from Alchemy. Notch some of the bass out to 100 Hz, giving room for a nice sub. So I used a Sony D808 in Alchemy. The next thing I added to the music side was vocal chops. And I found this sample. And then it's just a matter of playing it in key. The next thing I did is take the original song and find a music section in that I can use as a sample. I took a vocal chop from the same track. Took at the bottom, added a reverb. Right, now moving on to the kit. The first thing in the kit section I added was a snare and filtered out the top end. As most of you know, I like playing everything from fresh, but I found this really cool hi-hat loop and I just had to use it. For the opening, I filtered out some of the top end. Now the next thing I wanted to do is add a build-up. Sweet. To accompany that build-up, I added a riser. So the build-up sounds like this. Now for the drop. I start off with a kick. I use the same snare and the hats on top. One thing about reggaeton and most dance music, there has to be impact on the drop. So I added a crash underneath, a sweep, and a woo! To accompany the kick and snare, I found a percussive loop, chopped it up. If we add all our previous elements back in, we have this. Yo, that's heavy. Straight after the initial drop, I continue that music piece and then added another vocal chop. For this again, I used the sampler EXS24. That's a work of art. For the first verse, I took some of the elements out and dropped them back in. For the second build-up, I thought I'd add a new riser. Constructed my own build-up and I found this one sample in my bank. Turn it up! Altogether, the second drop sounds like this. Turn it up! A reggaeton mashup wouldn't be complete without a reggaeton rapper. And one of the biggest tracks last year was Daddy Yankee and Snow, con Calma. I managed to find an a cappella. So following the second drop, we have this. To accompany the con Calma chorus, I found this synth. Now we're at a crucial point. But where do we go from here, and what other tracks do we use for this mashup? You can find other songs, pitch them up and down, speed them up, or alternatively, if you're a DJ like myself, we could bounce the music down and take it over to the decks. That's exactly what we're going to do. So that didn't take as long as I thought it would have. So I managed to find songs that fit that musical composition. The first one is by Himmat, Sandhu and is Munde, Pindan. The next one by DJ Flow and Police. Barood by Khorala, Maan. And finally, I thought it'd be cool to add an old school classics. This is by Surinder, Sonia. Raat. So there you have the final 4 tracks we're going to use in our mashup. We need to filter out the music. So for this, I used Audacity and I added a channel EQ. I took out some of the low end, I increased it by 1 semitone. This is what it sounds like. This sounds right. We're going to drop Munde Pindan there straight after Daddy Yankee's rap. I thought I'd introduce another vocal chop element. Nice. And the next track in our mashup is Police by DJ Flow. To transition into that, I did an impact and programmed a snare roll. I thought we'd switch up the beat. I did an auto tune to Flow's vocals and it sounds something like this. We've got Barood. So I did the same thing with this. I imported this track into Audacity and isolated the vocals the best I possibly could. Shifted it up, added an auto tune channel EQ and some delay. And once again we're going to introduce a new build-up. Now for the final track, we're going to take it back with Raat and Bole, and this is one of my favourite tracks, and an honourable mention to Punjabi MC who has the best version. However, I love the song so much that I had to introduce it and it fits. So all I did, added an auto tune, notched out the bottom end and the top end and increased the speed. Punjabi MC took a sample of the harmonium and the mandolin piece. That was so sick and it sounds something like this. Once again I switched up the beat and introduced another element, and this is the Yunga. I thought it would be ideal to have a huge build up at this point. I found this. Together with the song, it sounds like this. But as you know, with every bupssaggu song, there's always a twist. I thought it would be ideal to end the song off with Daddy Yankee, to flip the beat. For this section, I programmed the kick first. Added in my snare. And finally, the hi-hats. Leaving every other element as it is what it sounds like. So there you have it, people. This is how I construct a desi tropical reggaeton mashup. The acapella I'll be dropping this week for you guys to work to is Nashattar Gil, and this is Salute. The acapella will be available to download in the description below. However, I'll be dropping this mix with a video on my YouTube channel to follow. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to stay notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to play this mashup outside in the garden whilst enjoying a barbecue and a few drinks. From bupssaggu oi, peace.